Ha ha ha.
Hey,
What up, man? How you doing?
not bad, not bad.
I gotta lower myself. Shit. No, I just want to make sure. All right. Very cool. Brother, how you doing, man? It's been a little while.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it has been a while since I've been back in the big chair.
Yeah, man, you have the coolest desk.
There's this nice like Sith Lord bunny lady made it for me.
Yeah, dude. It's almost like she knows what she's doing, right?
It's definitely working some kind of space magic there.
Oh, absolutely. It's space magic. Absolutely. So, really quick, big shout out to Darth Bunny. Since the last time we spoke, she has completed her undergrad degree and is now a college educated coos. So big shout out to Darth Bunny.
Oh, college educated coos. Big shout out. Congratulations, buddy. Way to go.
Oh boy. Uh so man, how have you been? How you been, dude?
I cannot complain. If I
And if you
could,
did,
if I
who'd
did,
listen?
who'd listen? There
Yes.
you go. See, I'm predictable these days.
Oh,
But I
dude.
guess that's a benefit of being, things being good, things being on the up and up. Nothing but
Good.
positive growth over here on the channel. I got a lovely community, meeting new mateys all the time.
Oh, that's right, dude. Even since the last time you and I celebrated hitting 750, you got another three since then, dude. So that positive growth is only continuing on. So
Thank you,
kudos,
thank you,
brother.
thank you very much. I see you over there all the time grinding, getting people in your chat. It's wild.
Dude, I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? It feels slow because I'm looking at the day to day, but then I'll have like someone like you say something. My mother-in-law, she pops in every once in a while, and every time she's like, "Your number keeps growing every time I see," and like that feels really, really good. So having that outside perspective has been like huge for giving me that little bit of, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Um
Encouragement.
Encouragement. Yes, thank you very much, sir. So yeah, man, it's been good over here too. I've been branching out a couple games here and there. I of course I'm
Yep.
still a big old WoW player. I borderline solidified myself as the number two to my GM in the SOD guild that I'm in.
Very
So
good.
not yesterday, but the week prior, I got to be the raid leader for the Sunken Temple raid, and next Friday I will be raid leading again. So it's been good, dude. It's I get to have a little bit more of a bird's eye view and kind of get to talk about a couple things. And I'm starting to also get into React content, and not just WoW news, but some other things. I usually try to keep it to gaming, but it's been fun feeling more comfortable with my home base game, that now I can start branching out and getting my feet wet in a couple other things, dude. And I have to give kudos to you on that account as well, kind of giving me that little bit of push. I took a page out of your book and I rated someone new to me last night. Super cool dude. He was playing WoW, but he was playing retail, so that was outside my comfort zone. But yeah, dude, so thank you for that as well.
Oh yeah, and whenever you get discouraged by those day to day numbers, it always helps to remember step back, look at a week, look at a month. Like I was not feeling my numbers were doing that great for a while, and then I was on Twitch Tracker, which is either good or bad depending on how you obsess over your numbers. And my weekly was like my dailies weren't so good, but then I pulled it back to a month, and all of those arrows were green and pointing up, and I was like, oh. I pulled it back to 3 months, and they were all green and pointing up, and I'm like, ah. Yeah. Like the further out I zoomed, the more I turned into that Vince McMahon meme.
I like that, dude. I like that a bunch, and I feel that the one of the first times I've tried looking at Twitch Tracker was that time you and I spoke, and I felt the exact same thing, dude. Getting that step back, looking over a long period of time. I'm like, dude, I'm going in the right direction. It looks like the growth is steady. I might call it slow, but that doesn't matter. The growth is there, and that makes it exciting, and continues with the motivation to keep going.
Bunny was asking about the beard. I was like, yes, it is. The wifey braided it for me because she's a sweetheart. And so I'm over here playing with it. Okay, I shouldn't do it too much. I'll go blind.
I so I feel like without even trying, dude, you that's a really good segment into 90s nostalgia because that's one of them old wives' tales that parents tell their kids
But
without being
you
able
know
to
what got
Google.
me? The
Tell
one that
me.
got me was don't do that too much. You'll grow hair on your palms. And what did I do? Immediately, like fucking 13-year-old me.
You started practicing?
No, I just looked at my hands like, is there hair?
Oh my
They're like,
god.
ah,
See, that's how they
bad.
get you, dude. That's how they freaking get you.
bad. Dude, I'm
Um,
still a sucker for the, hey, what's that? Huh? Oh.
oh, dude. And you know what? A part of that is the dad in you, and I think that too. That's how that's how we as people get to kind of continue on our kind of very subtle traditions, right? And I think that plays into a lot of our own nostalgia where we hold on to things that kind of made us feel good and maybe not so much
Oh, yeah.
good in the I don't know what kind of sense I mean, but it's a fond memory and we want to pass that down. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. It's a nostalgia. Sometimes like the nostalgia you want to pass on is straight up like a tradition. Like
Yeah.
Slidey called me out on it on a stream a few days ago. Wifey made dino nuggies and mashed potatoes, and I was a happy fucking 8-year-old again. But uh I was squeezing ketchup out onto my plate and it made a ketchup fart. You know, we all know it. And immediately I'm like, Max. And he's like, nah. And Slidey's like blaming the kid for the ketchup fart is such a dad thing to do. And it's, you know what, you're right, because it's a thing my dad used to do.
Yes.
Or, hey, dad, can you pass me a piece of bread? And he would tear off a little piece and hand it to me. And I'd be like, a whole piece. So he'd grab a piece and poke his finger through it. So there's a hole and he'd hand me that. And I would be like, come on. And he would
Yep.
take that.
Yep. My personal favorite right now is my daughter asked
Pass me
me for a cup of water. And as I'm walking in with her cup of water, she sees me take a sip out of it and she's like, not the dad tax. And I'm like, the dad tax.
the dad tax. Hey, let me see that. I got to make sure it's not poison. Give me a bite of that.
Yes, that's a
This is mine. Sorry. It got me. I'm dead. I'm gonna need that. Or the ever popular. Oh yeah, this. You never made this before. No, this is terrible. I'm gonna have to eat this so nobody else has to take it.
yes, dude. And they're looking at you like, is he messing with me or not? Hmm.
Mm-hmm. I love those days where like here's a bit of like parental nostalgia where the kid would ask a question, I would answer it, and he'd give me that look and then look over at his mom and she'd be like, no. Now he doesn't even believe me. He's like, yeah, whatever, dad.
Oh
So I
no.
like telling him true shit because he won't believe it. I flipped the coin.
Oh, dude, that's a good one. That's a real good one, dude, because I've gotten to that point too now where my daughter doesn't believe anything I tell her. So I'll
You
just
start
like,
telling her wild stuff that's true.
yep. And it's like,
Like, did you
nuh-uh.
know color isn't real? What? Yeah, yeah. Color is a figment of your imagination. It's a way of your brain coping with everything around you. Because originally we couldn't see tigers and against grass, so our brain developed a way to cope against it, and then we've just passed it on down. Color is a figment of your imagination. No.
Nuh-uh. And that right there, um, I remember being a kid and wishing that I could look up the wild, wild crap that I ever heard. And you know what the best we had, other than going to the library, but who the hell goes to the library? Was encyclopedias. Did you have a set of encyclopedias, dude?
We didn't. I'll take it one step back. We didn't have an encyclopedia. We had some of those, but not really like a full set that we would go and reference. We had a Lincoln Library. It's a book about yay fucking thick. It had a dictionary. It had basic math all the way up through like calculus was fucking weird. You could open it up and it had woodworking information. It taught you how to like all of your cups to fucking stuff that I don't know. Like, all your fractions. It basically was this massive repository of general information. Like if an almanac ate other books and beat the hell out of like nerdier books and made it fill out more information. and then got all that shit peer reviewed by other nerds. That's what
Oh,
we had.
dude.
Like my parents, I would be like, I'll be reading a book. And I'll be, he said truculently.
What?
Hey, what's truculent mean? And you know what I heard? I didn't hear what truculent meant. I heard go look it up.
Yup. Yup, dude. And that's what I'm saying, man, is like nowadays, and I do it, I'm sure that you do it, because why wouldn't we? Now we have the plethora of human information throughout all of history, the Library of Alexandria of our time in our pockets. So thinking back to the 90s, dude, where like the internet was barely there. Like NASA had it. Like, so really quick, the history of the internet, the governmental intranet was invented. So all of these scientists
DARPANET.
could, yeah, so they so they could all talk to each other and all that kind of crap. And then eventually they were like, the public should probably have this technology.
What the fuck is the internet?
What the fuck is the internet?
Oh, dude, you said that, and it reminded me of the Jay and Silent Bob Strikes
Yep.
Back thing, where he's like, dude, check it. It's the internet, and points at a fucking computer.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
how it was, though. Like, we had a computer room. There wasn't like, oh, yeah, let me just
Yes.
get on my computer.
I feel like everyone had the computer room, dude. The one computer, you know, you can hear it getting fired up. And even then, like that was when I first had a home computer, it was well before having the internet. It just had DOS on it. It didn't even have an operating system. It was just purely DOS. So I would just go and just type in it. So I would go into there, I would, clickety clack, and just hit enter and just get like an error code. So then, oh, I remember the first website I tried to type in was www.weather.com. And that was because the Weather Channel was one of my favorites to watch with my mom. My mother loved the Weather Channel, but I would. I remember that was like one of the first times I saw an internet web. Look at this guy, dude. Back in my day,
Back in my day, the internet came in the mail.
the internet came in the mail.
It's true, yeah. You get your mail, the mailman will be like, hey there, old man Jenkins, here's your mail. And I'd be like, thank you, Stephen. Please don't fuck my wife while I'm not here. And you would open it up and bills, fucking penny saver, horse trader. Ooh, what's this? And it was America Online. And it was a
Oh,
disc about yay big, and it would give you access to the internet for 30 days for free. And then it would
dude.
die, and you'd be like, oh, they want you to pay money. And you were like, I'm too smart for that. I'll make another email.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop you.
No.
You was just robbing the brand of all the internet. You was popularizing, just taking it. And you know what? Everybody was a pirate back then. We just took what we wanted as far as the eye could see. Nothing but torrent sites with your Napsters and your Kazars. Oh, shit. It hurt myself. And your wires on Lime.
Oh my
You know how
God.
many computers I fucked up with LimeWire? All of them.
All of them.
Lincoln Park Meteor. No, you didn't get that copy of Hostel that you wanted. You got 17 viruses. Yeah, that's right, buddy. And some guy in fucking Russia's got all your information. He knows your EverQuest password. He knows about that girl you've been messaging on the MySpaces. That's right.
Dude.
I don't know what's better, this bit or hearing Bunny cackle in the background.
Oh my God. So you got my chat fucking rolling first off. Secondly,
It's the truth, though.
so it is the truth. It really is the truth. What killed me throughout that whole bit is you started naming things that even kids today are to be like, what the fuck is a LimeWire? What's
What the fuck is a LimeWire?
Dude, what's
Napster?
Oh my freaking God.
I said Napster back a few minutes ago, and fucking Lars Ulrich was like, oh!
His already sense were tingling. Where's my lawyer?
Somebody said the forbidden word. It's like I said Voldemort's name. He just knew.
Yep. Dude, this one kid's like Napster, group napping.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That was a whole different thing. We passed around some cookies, watched Requiem for a Dream, decided universally that that was not as good of a movie as we wanted it to be, and then it was nap time.
Dude, the first time I watched Requiem for a Dream, I was
I wasn't ready.
fucked up. I was not ready for that movie, dude.
You know why I watched it? Because so many movies use that da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, like literally the music, the song called Requiem for a Dream, the motif that they replay throughout the entire fucking movie as like trailer songs. And I was like, that song's so cool. Oh, it was that Vin Diesel something
That
Babylon
was a
movie
part of
they used in
my
the trailer.
music list for so long. My playlist.
Yes. I loved the music, so I was like, I gotta see what it's from. It's never worked with Sweeney Todd and Repo Genetic Opera. It'll be great. No. Don't watch it.
No.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
You sweet summer child. Isn't that wild, dude? So, like, I think what you just described there is another interesting thing. Is back in my day, you couldn't just you hear something and then like have to go and you'd have to go and actually put in the effort to find out where something came from, right? Like again, like nowadays you can just throw it into Google. There's an app that'll listen to a song and tell you what the song is. And then you can just go to the Wikipedia. I know it's not a great resource, but fuck you, it has all good information in it. And it'll tell you everything. Where back in the day, like
reality slipping through.
Oh no. Peeled behind the veil.
Reality is what I could wish it to be.
But like back in the day, you had to like everyone in their family had like the one smart relative where like you call them like, hey, tell me this thing, tell me if this is true, tell me how to do this, all that kind of shit. So now Google is the smart relative, but I wonder,
Mom, why do you have 72 bars on your in your Internet Explorer? Mom,
oh no.
Mom, why?
Every tab. Whatever the maximum amount of tabs allowed is, that's how many they have. And then they'll open another window and start a new amount of tabs.
Honey, the computer's broken. I need you to come and fix it.
Ma, no, it's not. It's not broken.
Come on, honey. Just come and fix my computer.
No. And it's, end of Sunday. It's always like the end of like a Saturday or like right at like 2 in the afternoon on a good lazy Sunday.
Honey, can you come fix my computer? That neighbor boy was over here using it, and now all I get whenever I open up the Googles is just titties, and I don't understand it.
I mean,
oh, dude, and that's a big thing I wanted to highlight today is the transitionary period between having fuck all for technology. Like, you were cool if you had more than one TV in your house. There was the one big boob tube TV in the middle of the living room that everybody had, but
usually sitting on top of an older, bigger television.
Yes,
that doesn't work anymore.
Yes, sir. See, he gets it. But then you knew you were at the hoity-toity house if, you know, you had to go into your parents' room to watch the second TV because the big game is on and all the kids are there because all the parents are there, but they're not.
All the kids got booted into another room to go watch, like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Or if you were, or maybe if you were lucky, peak hours, there's like a Super Nintendo.
Ooh,
maybe an N64.
True, like, dude.
Oh man.
So
that's how it was. I remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so like here for most of our audiences, they're all big gamers, and I'm sure a lot at or around our age. Super Nintendo. Talk to me. Tell me things about Super Nintendo, dude. Like before PlayStation,
started out
before Nintendo 64.
All right, first of all, hey, okay, you kiddies, you know what year Nintendo started as a company? I'll take guesses. Go ahead. Don't you fucking Google it. I'll know.
Tell us, Grandpa. Tell us.
1880, I think, 2, maybe 5, somewhere there. The 1880s. Yeah, 18, motherfucker. It started life as a card company, playing cards. And and they've kept it going. The Super Nintendo was the sequel to Japan's Famicom, short for Family Computer. Kind of like, how Pokemon is Pocket Monsters, Digimon is Digital Monsters, Famicom, Family Computer. The Super Nintendo was, appropriately enough, the Super Famicom. And it was that shit, that hot shit, that blowing Sega out of the water shit until they came out with a fucking Genesis. Because, it had all the colors. Like, I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago when the strength of Genesis failed. Because, oh my gosh, watching it go from Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES, which was peak NES. That's like pushing that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got all 8 bits going. And then you look at that, and then you put it side by side with a screenshot of Super Mario 3 from, Super Mario All-Stars, the Super Nintendo cart that had 1, 2, 3, the lost levels, and the versus minigame that you could play in the arcades. Oh my gosh! Scared me, and I wasn't even there.
Holy freaking shitballs, dude.
The power of my ranting. It's so strong!
Are you afraid of the dark?
Holy freaking crap, dude. That's a shit nightmares are fucking made out of, dude.
Hey, man, that's some powerful exposition.
Holy
History
crap.
lesson so strong, it's fucking would you like.
Yeah,
But-
it literally did. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
Put those two things next to one another, and the difference is startling. Here, I'm sure I can take a cursory 3 seconds and Google Super Mario 3 NES versus All Stars.
And this is the thing, chats, is back in those days, you had these games come out and they were so impactful to society at large. And like that's one of the things that I wanted to go over as a general theme for today's episode, is like in the 90s, with the growth of these technologies, when they came out, it was life changing. You know, PS6 is going to come out and Xbox 2 is going to come out, and all they're going to have is better graphics. They're going to have maybe bigger internal memory, and maybe a little bit, they'll finally go to like 60 FPS. But having a machine come out that you can hook up to your TV with these funny little controllers and make the pictures on your TV move was enormous in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And like you could say like things came out before that, things came out after that, but like it's like the difference between the invention of the TV, going from the screen TV to a flat screen TV, and then I'll take it a step further, going from, you know, LED to OLED to 4K to 8K. Yes, it's an upgrade, but it's nowhere near as impactful as the invention of the thing itself. And I think that's the really important part here, is what impact did these things have, in the moment that they came out and became available to the public. That's what I was saying before about the internet, is that when the internet finally came out for the public to use, it changed everything, and everything for by and by the better. Now, have we taken it too far since then? Probably, but that impact at such a time when, you know, kids were kicked out of the house and weren't allowed to come back in until it was dinner time. You come back in when the street lights come on. You come back in when the sun goes down. You come back in when mom yells out the window. It's not like it is now, where you kind of gotta not beg your kids to get out, but you have to kind of take a page out of the old school book, where you physically kick them out of the house because they want to be inside. They want to be on the screen device. They want to be connected to one another because that's all they know. Whereas Mr. Pirate and myself, you know, we all met on top of the green electric box in the middle of the block at 1 PM on a Saturday, and that was our chat room. That was us finally getting together, and that's when we actually spoke. Now there's group chat. That's our new electric box.
Yeah. Group chat. Right. Yeah, electric box, exactly. That green box that hummed, that we probably shouldn't have been sitting on, but we sat on it.
Yes.
That green box heard all the secrets. That green box knew everything.
Yep.
And you know what? Before I had this here Black Mirror to be smart for me, I knew everything. I knew
Yep.
everything. I knew every phone number. And if I didn't know it, put me in front of a phone. I'll start dialing it. I'll be like, all right, I want to call such and such. And bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, muscle memory phone number, motherfuckers. That was real.
Yes. Oh my
Real.
God. Yep.
Shit was realer than Street Sharks.
Fucking street sharks. I had a like a hand puppety fucking thing of a street shark, and I would bite into my arm with it as hard as I could, just to like, yeah.
You couldn't squeeze anything hard with that. It was
No,
all
you
plastic.
couldn't, man. But I still wanted. It's a shark. Like, come on, what does a shark bite feel like? That's not what a shark bite feels like. But still,
Right.
holy shit, that's funny, dude. I see on yours you got Mario, all the random different versions of Mario.
No, that's literally the difference between Mario and Super Mario 3 in NES versus Super NES. The difference is staggering. Like,
Yeah.
look at that. That's Super NES. That's NES. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the Super NES came and like just immediately became a big deal.
Yep.
There are games that were made for it. I'm still playing Super Mario World to this day. Donkey Kong Country, I can play. I'll get right now. You know, new game, highlighter race game, BARRAL. You start with 50 lives. I can take you all the way through the first world up to the second level of the fucking second world. In which case, I tell you it's your game because that minecart level can eat a dick. I remember. Was my shit, but now it's just like I handed my niece and nephew, I want to say 8 years ago, longer than that. My youngest wasn't even born, so over 10 years ago, handed them an emulated version of Super Mario World. I was like, here you go. I had beat up to the first castle, cleared it, cleared the second area for them. I was like, here you go. Gave them top secret areas so they could go and get big and get Yoshi. Hooked them up, let them go. They played. They started clearing up through Vanilla Dome, got almost to the castle, and then got game over. And bloop, 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 started them right back at the castle that I had just beat. Everything unbeaten again. They had to work their way back. And I heard the famous question, but what about autosave? And I laughed. Oh, I laughed. I got like 7.5 good hearty belly laughs. And then was like, oh, my sweet summer child. Let me tell you a fucking tale. There's no autosaves. This be a land where your mom walks past the console just a little too hard. It bounces. Somebody looks at it in a mean way. Just bloom, freezes. You're done. You turn it off. There's no saving.
Oh my God. So that's another fantastic point. The fragiliness of the technology in which we used. Tell these kids right now to blow into the cartridge and they're going to look at you like a crackhead, man. Like, what did any of those words mean that you just said to me?
I'm going to show you something that to this day gives me warm fuzzies. Warm fuzzies. First of all, you fetuses, this is a Game Boy Color. This is my fucking childhood. Now watch. You think it's just, just.
Is that the Pokemon one, the gold silver one?
That's blue. No, it's just a yellow Game Boy Color. Sound doesn't work on it. Pokemon Blue. Boom, right? You think it worked? Nope. For some reason, the video game gods are no, and it comes up. You get like a little block, or and doesn't makes a weird noise. So what do? Man, it doesn't work. What does your mom do? Ding, you're good. Should you do that? No, you're not supposed to do that at all. What you're supposed to do is go get a fucking Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol and rub it along the inside there. Fuck that noise. And realistically, it wasn't you blowing into it. It was just reseating it. That's all it was. You reseated it. It connected properly. You're gold. But the ritual.
The ritual. Worked. Huge wording right there.
It was the ritual.
Yep. And that
because
goes into the psyche of it.
we talked about another important ritual in our childhoods that since it goes hand in hand with 90s nostalgia because it was iconic of 90s. Saturday morning cartoons. You got up in
Yes.
the morning. You didn't get into you didn't get changed into regular clothes. You put on you were in jammies. You went and you made a big ass bowl of cereal. If you made a mess in the living room one too many times, or your parents were strict, you didn't eat in the living room. You ate at the table. You smacked down your bowl of cereal, depending on how quickly it took, how long it took you. You made it in time to watch whatever show, and you sat there. You got all some of you got bundled up in your blankets. Some of you sat there with your favorite stuffed animal. Oh, Mr. Barrington, are they going to make it? Is Yugi going to play the right card? You were there. You were there. It was your ritual. You did it in the same way every Saturday.
Yup. Yup, dude. And
And
yeah, no, go ahead. Keep going.
ritual's
Keep going.
important.
Ritual is
Well,
important.
the ritual's important in everyday life. I mean, even here, doing this right here, I do the same thing every time. I load up OBS, I write my ad, I change my stuff on Twitch, I make my I play something through you or through my my sounds to make sure my sounds are all in the right channels. And then I'm like, okay, let's get ready, let's go. And then that's the thing. It doesn't matter what you do, whether it's leaving the house, whether you're wiping your bum, whether you're brushing your teeth, whether you're, smacking your old lady on the butt. You do it in a similar pattern every time because the human mind craves consistency.
Yes. Yes, dude. And I think that was so prevalent back then because a lot of it was physical ritual. A
Yes.
lot of it was physical ritual. Nowadays, you have the opportunity to make all your own rituals, which is fine and fair, but it's all on the phone. Exactly, dude. It's all on the phone.
Why did we have the ritual? Why did we have the tradition? Because we didn't have the sum total of human knowledge right here in your fucking pocket.
Uh-huh.
Instead, it was what your grandpappy told you, told your pappy, told you.
Yep.
Parents back in the day did dumb shit. Told us stupid shit that was not true. Why? Because we couldn't check.
Yeah. Yep.
Couldn't.
Yep. You couldn't.
You know what the
Google it,
greatest
dude.
lie of our time? Everybody's parent did it. Everybody in our day and age. Mom, can you turn on the ceiling light in the car so I can read this? No, it's illegal.
It's
I'll get pulled over.
illegal. Yes, dude. Yes, I've used it. I'm not gonna lie. It's so distracting. It's the most distracting thing. And so
It is.
I get where it comes from. But yeah, dude, that's a huge one, man. Is you never had the ability to and in real time, and because by the time you
Oh,
even
yeah.
have the ability to go and check it, that's not something you're thinking about going to check, dude. 90 other things have happened to you because you live a physical life during that time, dude. You're outside, you're inside, you're outside, you're inside, you're talking to people. The most screen time you had is just TV. Just TV.
You talked about our parents kicking us out. Our parents kicked us out for so fucking long and didn't care so much that the fucking news was like, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Like, that's not a meme. That's a fucking, you can pull that up, YouTube it, search it.
Yep.
I ran around with no shoes because I was a fucking godless heathen. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I learned my lessons. I got some cut up feet. And you know what? I got spidey sense too because like I was scared of the dark, and I had three important facts: scared of the dark. I was responsible for taking the trash out, and several important facts. Trash bins were on the other side of our big ass yard that was covered in pine trees, pine cones everywhere, no lights. I got spidey sense. I can run through shit like that without stepping on stuff. It's wild. Very light-footed.
The street light thing is that's a really big one for me, man, because I remember being so excited in the summertime that the days were longer, which means I got to be outside longer. Because for me, the rule specifically was when the street lights come on.
Street lights.
Uh-huh.
To this day, I carry that tradition. Oh man! And speaking of, because your parents did it, Dad, I'm hungry. Hi, hungry. I'm Dad.
now that's a sound
It's a
bite,
reflex.
dude.
Yeah.
That's a soundbite now, dude. Like now you can watch video after video after video of that shit. Like if you wanted premium dad jokes, you had to go to the source, dude. Like you had to go to
The dad.
dad. Yeah, exactly now.
And like you either got a joke or you tried to say something funny and he corrected you. It turned into a fucking lecture.
Yeah.
Or you went over to say something to him and he's like, hey, come here.
Dude.
Hold this fucking flashlight. And then you're just getting yelled at for like 2 hours.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
How do you hold a flashlight wrong, Dad?
did you
Sorry,
see? And
that wasn't
this is the video brain. Did you see the one video of the son working with his dad, and his dad has the flashlight, and the kid starts yelling at him the whole way? He's like, that doesn't feel good, does it? No, I bet it doesn't. This is what you did to me, dude. I saw that. I died. I'm like, that's funny. I don't care who you are. That's pretty funny.
And you know what? That touches on other stuff too. Like that's all we try to do. To get a little philosophical for a moment. That's all we try to do is take the good, the things that we liked that our parents did, and carry them forward.
Yep.
Because those, ironically enough, or not even ironically enough, appropriately enough, are what makes us up.
Yep.
Like you know that there's something in your life that you took from your parents, be it a mannerism. My mom, I noticed it years ago. We both, whenever we hang up the phone, bye. I don't say just bye, bye. I don't know why. I don't. It's her, and I noticed it a couple years back. She was like, "Okay, bye," and I was like, "Ah!" It was the Leo meme. You know, there it is.
Yep.
I mean, that's us. Exactly.
Yep.
And that goes with the whole nostalgia thing. It's just positive tradition.
Why do you think that is so big for our generation? Because that is its own like subreddit, it's its own TikTok, it's its own Facebook page where the millennials are so big on nostalgia. And before I go on a big rant about it, I wanted to get your 2 cents on it.
Well, I'm going to sound like a doomer here because I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, it's because it's of an older time. I reference this all the time. I think I may have referenced it with you. I might have even talked about it on a previous episode. There is a musical genre called Soviet wave, and it embodies the feelings of an entire generation of Russians who were raised during the Soviet Union era, told you're going to space. Your generation will be raised on rockets going to 50 space race propaganda, but like they this is going to happen, and they were promised and raised for a future that never came. It's a longing. It's like a reverse nostalgia. It's like you're longing for something that never was.
Okay.
And I feel like it's very much like that. We don't have a lot of consistency in this day and age. Like if you go and buy furniture from IKEA, you buy a new coffee table, you crack that bad boy open, half the time it's either going to be particle board or it's going to be layered cardboard.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to your average thrift store, you're going to find ugly but solid furniture because somebody's great grandpappy built that shit to last.
Yep.
So people, I think a lot of the nostalgia for the older days comes from that desire of things to be the way they were, made solidly, consistently. There was a degree of things done on principle. You do this because it's the right way. Stuff I say to my kids: do it nice or do it twice. If anything's worth doing, it's worth doing right.
Never heard do it nice or do it twice. I like that a lot. I like that a whole lot.
I try to make them all rhyme. We
sticks
took
in the
whenever
head.
my son, mnemonics. When my son was really little, he loved. We used to watch movies together all the time. He loved storks. And there's, don't call me orphan. Or don't call me orphan. It hurts my heart. Like that. It's a good movie. Very silly. But the company, their whole credo, I turned into the motto that I used to raise my son through like his toddler years. Make a plan, stick to the plan, always deliver. That's their company credo, and we would do that whenever it was, or half hour till nap time, because little kids need transition warnings.
Yeah.
I would be like, all right, buddy, we're gonna have lunch, and then we're making the plan now. Okay, you ready to listen to the plan? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have lunch, then we're gonna have nap time, and then after nap, we're gonna do something fun. Okay, and then we'd have lunch. All right, buddy, what's the plan? I'd always make him reiterate it, and he would tell me. I'd be like, all right, and then whenever inevitably after lunch is done, and he told me the plan, I was like, all right, it's time for nap, and he didn't want to do nap. I'd be like, what do we do? Make a plan. We stick to the plan. We always deliver. It's time to deliver, buddy. So okay, and he stick to it. I believe that degree of like that through line, that doing it because it's the right way to go about it. I don't know. I think that's something we don't have a lot today. So there's a lot of nostalgia for it. That and like you separate all of that, people don't like change. Even your most go with the flow, like, oh, dude, I'm so mellow that like, I don't even know how to finish this sentence, bro. Like that, those kind of people, like space cadets and shit. Like, I mean, I've been there. Even them, you fuck with something in their life, and it just drives them wild. People don't like change.
Yep.
So what do we do whenever we get all like the world is at your edge, rah, 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 rah. Your boss says, well, yeah, I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday, or your mom calls you at 2 in the afternoon on a lazy Sunday. Can you fix my computer? What do you do? What do you do after the world has run you through the ringer? You reach for that old reliable, that comfort.
Yeah.
Blanket, be it your fucking bong, be it whatever your preferred liquor, be it an episode of Dinosaurs. Not the mama.
Not the mama.
It's whatever. I mean, for some people, it's the Magic School Bus. For me, it's Tetris. I could be having the most like everything's happening all at once kind of day, and I'll put in some headphones and play a game of Tetris, and it's just okay. I don't know.
I like
the first video game I ever remember owning. It came with my Game Boy.
Okay. So the one of the last things you said, after the world is done, putting you through the ringer, and then you look for that thing to kind of get back into your zen almost. That's kind of the big part that I want to talk about is back in those days, you didn't have everyone and everything telling you all of the things. Your news was
the world
local.
was smaller.
The world was smaller. Thank you. That's the phrasing I was looking for, dude, is that the world was smaller. And the other word I wanted to make sure I remembered is the world was more intimate. Your friendships were more intimate. Your family was more intimate. I
read somewhere that we aren't meant to know more than like 50 people.
Yeah.
After that, it becomes too hard, and we just start depersonalizing people.
Yes.
Like, you become just a statistic and not like an actual person.
Yes. It's strange. It's strange how much there's a push to learn and know so many cultures, the worldwide cultures that are out there. And this might be a little bit of a dangerous part of the conversation, but for the sake of having the conversation to like talk about it, because this is how I really feel, is that I don't know if it's innately a good thing for someone on this side of the world to know such great detail about the other side of the world. Now, is it good to be able to to humanize it or to maybe gain a little perspective out of it? Sure, maybe, fine. But every day you can pull up a million articles of travesties going on in the world. And to the rural small family in the middle of interstate here, knowing of the horrific tragedies going on in enter country of another continent here, like what benefit do you really get out of it? And again, it's not to diminish what's going on, but it's not, you're losing that connection to the good in your small little world, because at the end of the day, you're not going over there and they're not coming over here. So now what great efforts do you have to go through in your mind to not data dump it, but to rationalize it in such a way that it becomes part of the way you think in your day to day, what you appreciate out of the relationships that you do have, the things that you do see. And again, not just over a screen, but like when you start walking down the street, man, like I don't think it's that wise to know everything about everything, dude. Like it, and I'm a big fan of fucking Odin. I do want to know everything, but for character building and for practical day-to-day applications of the knowledge, most of that shit isn't going to help you, dude. Like it's not going to help you really become a better person. Like maybe in some nuances, sure, but again, not in going down to the deli to interact with the meat slicer, going down to the coffee shop and interacting with your barista, like knowing what's going on, knowing what scientists are doing in Antarctica isn't going to do you any good when you go to pick up your kid's birthday cake at ShopRite. Like that's not.
And that's
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
and
just
I,
going to
I
keep
get that you're
ranting.
not saying. No, you're fine. I get that you're not saying either you shouldn't know things. You're saying that like everything needs moderation, even knowledge, even whenever I feel like the reason we care so much about what's going on over there, wherever over there is because there's not really any struggles right here.
Oh,
So we look for
yes.
something to a cause to champion, something to fight for. Because
Mm.
without a cause, we are purposeless, and we start. It used to happen all the time. To bring it closer to home, something more granular. Whenever I wasn't working before, like I got this, years back, I used to not be employed, and I did the stay at home dad thing, and I started obsessing over little stuff. The kids are leaving stuff everywhere. But like, I just it doesn't matter. I pick like three things that don't matter, and I was bitching about stuff that mattered less than those. Um, it was wild, and realistically, the wifey was like, "Don't take this the wrong way, but I can't wait till you find a job." I was like, well, she's like, no, no, listen to me. It's because when you have something to work on, you have something to distract you, you have something to put the bulk of your attention to, you don't care about all this little stuff. And I feel like that is exactly it. Whenever you have a real struggle in your life, think about it. Think about it. Your boss comes up to you and says, mandatory overtime, next 3 weeks. Sorry, kiss your wife. You're not going to see her for a bit. And you don't, it's either go get a new job and hope that it pays you in time for you to pay your fucking rent this month, or mandatory overtime, kiss your wife. You ain't gonna see her for a while. You buckle down and you do it.
Yep.
And realistically, like whenever you do that and you're working those 3 weeks of mandatory overtime, you don't give a fuck what's happening over there,
Mm.
because
Ooh.
your week, your life narrows down. All of your focus comes in, and it's right here. It's my day to day. You're a guy walking through a desert. The only thing that fucking matters is the next step.
Yep.
Everything after that is future me's problem.
Oh, I like that, dude. I like that a whole freaking bunch. And I think that's where that right there again is, now that we have instant internet, you have access to anything and everything. You have the opportunity to not have an in your face uh purpose, but rather you can endlessly scroll for someone else's purpose, for the next bit of like clickbait, for the next maybe positive exciting thing, but isn't directly in your backyard. You can be excited for someone else, for something else, and not get anything done. And for a
Even
lot.
worse. Sorry. I got excited. You
Yeah,
touched on
yeah.
something.
Tell me where. Yeah, what worse? What's worse?
No, even worse. Even worse. Okay. Again, to use personal experience, you can create a bad echo chamber. like a bad feedback loop. I'm playing Hades 2 and I missed out on an entire feature that was just like I couldn't upgrade myself in between runs because I didn't interact with this whole feature that I just managed to skip the fucking tutorial for. I'm getting mad. I'm like, it's dealing too much damage. I get hit too hard. You can go back and look at it. I think it was fucking Tuesday. It's on the VOD. I leave them up. You guys can listen to me get mad. So what did I do? I went on my break. I'll see you guys. I'll be back. I go while I'm on my break. What do? I Google Hades 2 Melanoe takes too much damage, and I get a handful of Reddit threads. None of them are truly validating. A lot of them is basically boiling down to get good scrub.
Yeah.
Hades 2, not enough boots. And what does it do? Leads me back to the same handful of Reddit threads. That's its own story. Well, one day I think we'll have to do an episode on the dead internet.
Ooh, okay.
But then again, I'm not getting the confirmation bias that I want. I want the validation from the internet. Hades 2 can't upgrade, and just literally got nothing more than just the same handful of Reddit threads. I'm like, what the fuck? And then that itself, though, is what made me go and double check. Like, I gotta be fucking missing something. But I've had it in the opposite, where, like, for instance, the Orphan fight in Baldur's Gate 3, I could not beat it, and I thought it was extremely imbalanced. Again, you can go back to my early VODs. There's a video of me bitching about it for like 4 hours. It's great. I was like, this is stupid, and I looked it up, and I found plenty of people on the internet with my opinion. This is fucking dumb. Blah, 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 blah. You shouldn't be able to do this. Blah, 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 blah. And in every one of them fucking threads, there's one guy at least that's like, here's the solution to your problem. But it didn't get enough upvotes to be visible. And that's it. I'm just sitting here trapped in this feedback loop of, this is fucking dumb. And like, think about it. World of Warcraft used to go from you can put buttons anywhere to make your own spec to somebody was like, well, what are you playing? Are you playing a fire mage? That's what you do majorly. Well, if you don't use this spec, which 3 people on the internet decided was the best version of what you do, then I don't want you in my raid. And it goes all the way through other games. Destiny 1. The reason they took the Gallarhorn out of the game was because you wanted to do Crota. Some chuckle fuck with, actually, if you don't have a Gallarhorn, you're not going to find Crota. That's how it was. I mean, I don't know. I'm ranting now, but like that's my point. Is that with the internet, with the sum total of human knowledge, and not just knowledge, now it's opinion.
Yeah.
Just instantly me. All I have to do is I don't like blah 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 and fucking fire that shit off, and here's 37,000 pages of I agree that no one could possibly disagree with this opinion, and if they do, they're a duty head.
A duty head. No, dude, I get what you're saying, and I think to connect that with what I was trying to say before, that I think you gave me a little bit of ammunition here, is the closest thing you could do to getting help with any part of, like, let's take the video game part, is maybe you have an older brother, older sibling, and you're like, dude, how do I get past this part? Like how did you do it, or whatever. Your cousin, or
I got my cousin who was out of town to beat it.
Yeah, man. So like, without the plethora, the vast, without the Library of Alexandria in your hand, you motherfucker, you had to go and figure that shit out. Like, you had to make that stuff work for you. And
games that went unbeat for ages until, like you said, your cousin comes over and you're like, oh, hey, you try this. See if you can beat it. And they do, and all of a sudden, that's the rest of your evening. You're like, I've never even seen this far.
And that right there is a huge part of the nostalgia, in that you have these moments with people in your life that become so critical to, I don't know, the growth of, at the very least, the growth of your video game progression, but at the most, is the growth of your relationship with those people. Is like, dude, like you gotta meet my cousin. He's so good at games. One time he helped me do this. Instead of nowadays, it's like, man, I kind of don't want to see my aunt anymore because you should see the shit she posts on Facebook. Like there is something like this is something I think about a lot. And it's a question I pose to people. I pose this to political people all the time, dude. It's like imagine if, first off, imagine if people in the Civil War had Twitter, and now imagine if people during the Revolutionary War had Twitter. Like I don't think humans are so different from one another over the times. I think that what makes them different is their ability to connect with one another.
Hmm? Oh yeah, I mean, you think that you sitting here today, depression, just reaching out and slapping the shit out of you. You're in your jamma pants and a wife beater from yesterday. Go into your freezer to grab whatever pint of Ben and Jerry's makes you feel more human and more alive, and drowns out the fact that you just sold 87 hours of your life to your company in the first 3 days of the week. That you think that somebody else didn't feel that? There's literally one of my favorite bits of writing that Charles Darwin ever fucking put was it was in a journal. Today I am feeling very poorly and hate everyone.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes.
I am stupid. Yeah, I'm stupid and feeling very poorly and hate everyone. And it's like, oh, okay. This is a guy who some people consider to be one of the wisest motherfuckers that ever lived, and look at him.
Yep.
I bet you any money if he'd had the opportunity, he'd be sitting there right next to you with his own pint of Ben and Jerry's, binge watching Friends with you. You know, why can't I just find a good guy? Except he would probably say something along the lines of, there was some fucking thing that he hated because it couldn't be classified. Barnacles. He'd be sitting here, why can't I classify barnacles?
Yeah.
Sorry, a little bit of Darwin trivia for you.
No, that was good. That was good. And so yeah, dude, no, I agree. And that's a big part of the psyche that I think is important for not only our generation to really understand why we are so nostalgic, but for the younger generations that, like, I don't know if they make fun of us for it, but I would imagine enough of them do that if I can think it, they're gonna fucking think it. But like to really understand that like we were there for before not the invention, but before the access to the internet to now. Your refrigerator has the internet. Your washing machine has the internet, dude. Everything.
Fuck you. I remember when Doom was on a floppy disk. Now your refrigerator can run Doom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember when Doom was on the thing that made the save icon, okay, for you fetuses out there that don't know what a floppy disk is.
I saw that freaking meme, dude. Like, what? Someone asked me why I had the save icon in physical form. They thought I 3D printed it. Like, get the fuck out of town, dude.
If she doesn't know what this is, she's too young for you.
Look at it. Look at it. Look at the cartridge. Look at it. Oh, my
Oracle
God.
Seasons, baby.
That's nice. Look at that. That shit's got to be worth a fucking pretty penny.
Actually, no. The one that I have that is worth pretty penny that I just discovered the other day, I have a copy of Metroid Fusion upstairs.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's like a $80 game right there.
So, I don't know if you noticed, but up on my stream, I found a couple pictures. I just wanted to put things up for the sake of having them up there. And dead smack middle of it is Blockbuster Video. And to kind of try to rein in the conversation a little bit, but still kind of on theme, we can talk about, Blockbuster being, I used to get my Netflix in the mail. And for those who don't know, Netflix started by sending you things in the mail. It wasn't an actual streaming service. It was a mail service. But Blockbuster, I think, encapsulates a huge part of the nostalgia in that Blockbuster Video was the green electric box. Like, you would see people there, you would go and see, what people are picking.
Grocery store.
It's the grocery store, man. Like that sometimes
Oh, hiya, Bob.
dude, like that's where you're gonna see your teacher outside of class. That's where you're gonna see some of your best friends from class. Is gonna be there. Like if they don't live in your neighborhood, you're not gonna go and see them. If they're on the other side of town and you're a 10-year-old, you're not going to their house. But you might catch them at Blockbuster. You're not going to the grocery store with your mom, but you're going to Blockbuster with your mom, your dad, whomever. And that's where you're gonna see people, dude. And you're going to get the game is going to be in your hand. Now you don't get physical copies of games anymore. You download them, which is its own conversation. But for the sake of this one, like there's a huge difference between getting the download code from the back of a card that you buy at Best Buy versus having the hard case of and let's take it even a step further back of a videotape of The Mask and hoping that the guy before you rewound it.
Rewound it. Please be kind. We were talking about the TV on top of the TV. The rest of that setup is actually on top of that is a VCR, but it's not a regular VCR. It's got 2 ports. That way you can like record something.
Because that was the real grift. You fucking rent Mortal Kombat and you pop that bitch in, and while you're watching it the first time, you're dubbing it to another tape.
Yeah.
And then you send it back, and now you have your own copy of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to do that? Fuck no.
No.
But right next to that double-decker, super awesome, high-tech piece of technology, you had the speed rewinder.
Yes.
It looks like a fucking toaster for one thick-ass piece of bread. You shove that VHS in there, and you pop that bad boy down, and it goes, and it fucking pops it right back up, and it's still warm when you pull it out. Like, wow.
Oh, the war, dude. Oh man, the nostalgia you just gave me there. It's warm.
You felt it in your hand.
You did, dude. You did. Holy shit balls. Oh, yeah.
And you talked about Blockbuster. I come from a little town in Georgia called Folkston. Look it up, right next to the Okefenokee Swamp. We didn't have no Blockbuster. We had a mom and pop store. Like you ever watch Clerks? Like that.
Yep.
That store in Clerks, not the fucking Quick Stop, the store next door that had all the movie shop. That was a place that existed in every town, everywhere. Some towns had 2.
Yeah.
Some towns had a Blockbuster and a mom and pop store that's been there for 30 flipping years.
Mm-hmm.
And almost all of them had a really cool section in the back.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Ours was called East Coast Video. It was West Coast Video till they realized where the fuck they were, New Jersey, and they were like, "Oh, we should probably rebrand this, shouldn't we?" Yeah, because now you're on the East Coast.
Planet Hollywood, not Planet Hollywood. Something Hollywood. So there's another like Blockbuster style.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. You were cool if you had their card in your freaking pot, your wallet, whatever you freaking had, a Blockbuster card or whatever, dude. Because
my mom found hers the other day, and I tried to get her to give it to me, and she wouldn't. I was like, please, that would make a great prop. I'll put it right there next to my fucking multi-pass and my, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. lanyard.
Yep. Oh, that's so great, dude. Imagine.
Stacked VCRs.
Imagine.
Hollywood Video. Thank you.
Hollywood Video. There it is. Static. Good call, dude. So, imagine, if you will, movies come out. I'm going to go back to The Mask again. The Mask is out, and it's in theaters. But you can't go to the theater for whatever reason. You can't afford it. Parents won't take you, whatever. And it's been, I don't know, 2 years. And finally, on UPN 9, it's come out and it's on TV. Your father scrambles to grab the VCR. He went out to the store and he bought a blank tape. And now you're about to watch The Mask, which all your friends have been talking about in school. And that is, you would have to wait. Imagine thinking, and coming from, say, an underprivileged household, that a movie comes out and you have to wait so much time before you'll finally be able to see it. Nowadays,
yeah, there's not a chance my family's going to go to the movie theater. I got like 6 months before that comes out on tape.
Yeah, so that's another one right there coming out on tape. So now, so I'll dial it back a little bit. So maybe you're at least going to go to Blockbuster for it. But now imagine explaining that type of thought process to someone today, where even if you don't pay for one streaming platform, you're gonna find the 1 out of 10 through 10 out of 10 clips of it on YouTube. You can watch almost anything on YouTube. You just got to find the right place to look for it. And I find that very interesting to think about when it and on a nostalgic point, in that back in those days you had to wait for things. Now
I was gonna say,
instant
do you remember
gratification.
missing an episode of something?
Yeah,
Dude. Like, oh, dude, it's it's the thrilling 4-part episodes where the Green Ranger's giving the Power Rangers the fucking business.
Yeah.
The last episode, he jumped inside the Megazord and started fucking them up in the cockpit all at once, beating ass. And they said to be continued. And that episode came on, and you missed that shit. And you had to go to school the next day knowing, oh, dude, did you see it? Did you see how it ended? Oh, my gosh. And you're like, no, I didn't see how it ended. My mom made me do the fucking dishes. I could have done them 20 minutes later. But no, I didn't get to see it. Knowing that not only did you not see it, everybody that you know in your friend group is going to be talking about it.
Yep. That's what I was saying before.
What are you doing? Watching VR Troopers instead? Get out of here. You got... Not only that, but you don't know when that shit's getting aired again. You may never fucking see it again. There are whole shows that I still went, or I mean, it was like the same thing with serialized books. It wasn't until I was a grown ass adult, thank you, Pop Arena, one of the best YouTube channels out there, that I got to know the full story of Animorphs, because I went to a bajillion different schools, and not every single school. There were whole books that I just missed out on. Like, I don't know what number blah 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 is. I don't know what this is. You pick up a book and you try to guess what happened. Put context clues. The same thing for shows. You missed this episode. Sucks to be you, Buttercup. We ain't seeing it again. That episode might not have done too well. It might not ever get aired again.
Yep. And so in your chat, Living Meme, I completely agree with you. And to kind of to expand on that a little bit, man, is I find it hard, like either a catch-22, a double-edged sword, what have you, where all the intent to like make missing it, Pirate, to your point, missing an episode and not knowing when you're going to see it again, like I believe that everyone's hearts were in the right place when they give you the opportunity to watch anything at any time. I truly believe that. I believe that when it comes to entertainment and the consuming of content of whatever form, like the pure intent of it is, please enjoy this piece of media. And if you missed it, don't worry. Well, you can run it back. And it's a shame almost that it takes getting to where we are now to really even consider the overload of dopamine to really
we've looped back around.
We really have, dude, where we tried so hard to not miss our gratification of the 6 days leading up to the episode of the show that's only once a week kind of nonsense, that if you explain it that way, it's like, oh, well, then, yeah, no, why do I have to wait a week?
You do that today.
Yeah.
They do that now. They circled back around to it where I remember watching Star Wars show, literally like Book of Boba Fett, fucking Mandalorian.
Yeah.
All of those. They come out one episode a week. Why? Because they don't want they want people talking about it like it used to be talked about.
Yep.
Like, you guys remember, if you're around our age, do you remember everybody's mom going ape shit for fucking George Clooney in ER? And then when that big wedding happened in ER, people lost their fucking mind. The Ally McBeal wedding. There are whole events to shows I've never watched that I know about because they were cultural events.
Yep.
because they were only showed once a fucking week. And it's just like, oh my gosh, did you hear South Park said shit on television? Oh, it was so wild. They had a counter on the corner of the screen. What are they gonna do next week?
It's a cultural event, dude. You're hitting the nail right on the head, dude. Is that media, by and by now, they are no longer cultural events. They are
Nope.
they are something you do after work. That's it, dude. You don't gather the family to go to the movie theater. You don't go out and buy extra snacks during the last time going to get groceries because you're going to have your cousins are coming over because the grand finale episode of insert TV show here is going to be going down and mom said it was okay to have it at your house.
Do you remember the end of Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or how about the end episode of pick early season of fucking Survivor, American Idol, shit. You know, I mean, I know for years in the UK it was, hey, you don't call while Doctor Who's on.
Yeah.
You know, like that sort of shit. Like people gathered around, people made it a point. And you know what? I think that we've moved so far away from that. Like living memes, so right. Like that constant dopamine mining. I talk about it all the time. Doom scrolling, sitting here and thump, because you want to watch, you want to sit there and YouTube shorts or your TikToks. Hey, you kids with your TikToks and your YouTubes and I do it too. Fucking iFunny killed me. Yeah, laugh at me. iFunny killed my fucking attention span and my desire to do anything. To the point that like games that I used to play and actively enjoy, I get bored with and I have to make myself go and put my shit down. Why? Because the more I do it, the less I'm going to enjoy something else. It's the same thing of like moderation is key. A lack of moderation is going to cause your downfall no matter what. Yep. And I think that, you know, like even back in the day, you did too much of anything and it fucked you up. Look at us now. I mean, we have people living for content like ours. You know, like stuff just like this. There are people who are like, I need my next episode of the last podcast on the left. You know, or you know, when's Hello from the Magic Tavern gonna release something new? You know, shit like that. I remember being legitimately upset when Games Workshop changed their shit and made it so like, no, fan-made stuff, we're gonna shut that down. And specifically a YouTube channel that did a series, If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device. It's a Warhammer 40k series. It's one of my favorite fucking things ever. It's like DBZ Abridged, but for Warhammer 40k and with the same level of care. It's great.
That's awesome.
Whenever they had to stop making that content, I was devastated. Why? It's a fucking YouTube channel. There's a billion of them.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Don't get it twisted. I look all the time like, come on, man, just start making new shit. I just want to hear Magnus yell at somebody again. But like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It wasn't Orwell. Orwell was 1984. There was another book that talks about it's the opposite idea of 1984, where you don't need to control the populace so overtly because you do it with a million little distractions.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what you're referencing, but I know the theme in which you are referencing. And that's exactly what we live in now. So that's something else. So looking again in your chat, Wraith, look at him. He knows exactly. He's talking about the Green Ranger powers coming and all that fun shit. But is it Brave New World by any chance?
What, the episode? Probably.
No, the thing you're referencing, not from 1984.
Oh, Brave New World. Yes, Brave New World.
Thank
exactly.
you, Lady Wraith.
Thank you, Lady Wraith. Yes.
So
they're literally like everyone tunes in to like some TV show, and it's basically just bullshit on top of bullshit on top of bullshit.
So between that, you mentioning how there's a million freaking things you can be watching on YouTube. How many podcasts are there now? The market is saturated. And the point I'm trying to make is back in the day, at least in the 90s, everyone watched the same shit. because that's all there was. If you didn't have cable, all you watched were 3 different news channels, the same Saturday morning cartoons, and the same evening dramas. All of your moms watch the same. If you're any type of Spanish, they watch the same telenovelas. If you
The
if
same soap operas,
the
Days
same
of Our Lives, Guiding Light, fucking
Yep.
Passions. Shout out to Passions. That was my shit.
That was, yeah, that's a pretty good one. But
Yeah,
that's what
everything
I'm
hits a
saying
niche.
too. And then say, like, even take sports, take your dads. Like, they're all watching football. Like, you're not getting to watch European football. You're not getting to watch Formula One racing. You're watching NASCAR. You don't get to watch college ball. You're only watching the NBA. Like,
You think that they're televising the Tour de France? They don't give a fuck about France, much less the bikes in France.
Uh-huh, exactly, dude. And that's another thing that really brought people together, is that everyone's watching the same shit. Like, and again, like, I want to bring back the point from Living Meme, is I think that inherently it's not a bad thing that the growth of our media gives everyone the opportunity to watch what they want to watch, whatever niche thing that tickles your fancy. Being able to watch more than just one movie a day or a week or what have you. But it's the effect that it's had on our society, on the small community to as big as whatever country you are watching this now or in the future, and that we've lost this way of connecting with one another through these what we now consider nostalgic things. Like, everyone had a Tamagotchi, everyone had a Nokia phone, everyone knew what a pencil was for a tape deck. Like, these things, these were all word of mouth. Like, you didn't see this thing on an ad on a computer screen. You saw it. You saw a Tamagotchi attached to your girlfriend's purse, and you're like, "Fuck, I want one of those." You finally see the guy at the office pull a cell phone out of his freaking pocket. You're like, "Fuck, I want one of those." Now, all you do is get ads for the iPhone 1900 and the freaking Samsung 33, because you have a 32, but they're going to upgrade you every year. Like, you get all of this just thrown in your face and thrown in your face. The market is saturated across the board. But back in my day, or at least in the 90s, what you had and what you saw is what you had and what you saw. And everyone saw the same thing. Commercials weren't built off of an algorithm showing you things that it knew you wanted to buy. Shows weren't being suggested to you based off of the last thing you watched. You could
Your
be
phone didn't listen to you unless you sold fucking drugs or killed people.
and that took a fucking court order. Now
Yep.
it's in your terms of service and agreement.
Uh-huh.
So
You can pick up your phone and, hot sauce, hot sauce, hot sauce, hot sauce, hot sauce, hot sauce, and you'll fucking open up your shit and you'll have ads for hot sauce.
And
Exactly.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm gonna keep ranting.
I was just commenting what Meme said. I was agreeing with them. You had to come across specialized magazines.
Yes.
That used to be a fucking trope in TV. I love your NASA mug. That used to be a trope in TV. Like, you go to somebody's house and they have their coffee table and it's really super weird magazines like Particle Physics Weekly, like it's always something super niche because that's what it was. There wasn't, particlephysicsiscool.com.
Yeah.
Like, it was like fucking 3 magazines run by like 7 total people around the world out of each other's basements.
Yep.
It was nuts.
Something else. I just thought of this now. Something else that I think makes our generation so holding on to nostalgia, and I touched on it before, but I let it go, and I really want to drill in on this, is all of those things I talked about, the impacts to our culture and our society. We've watched all the same things and stuff like that, is that we remember that time. And then the thing I talked about earlier before is this huge spike in technology to now here we are, where Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and going forward, unless there's a new technological revolution, they, I think, are going to have less to be nostalgic about. Is that they have all of this information and all of this media readily available to them, and they will continue to have it readily available to them. Whereas we're in this really, really niche middle ground. And I talk about this a lot at work, where you have people who refuse to use a cell phone. They would rather a flip phone than a smartphone. And you have the young guns that come in, your young 20 somethings that have no problem using that stuff. So here we are kind of in the middle where we understand the old heads, but we also understand the young kids. And it's weird that like the old heads have a refusal for it and the young ones don't have the frame of reference. And I truly, truly believe that, again, unless there's another technological revolution or a severe societal reset, there really isn't going to be more nostalgic generations after us. Does that make sense?
I think you're onto something, but to circle back, to touch back to what we were talking about in the very beginning, all the way back with dad jokes, that's up to us. It's our
Mm,
job to give them something to be nostalgic about, just like we had. What are we nostalgic for? What do we really look back as like those great memories? It's the Tuesday night your dad said, everybody in a fucking car, we're going down to CC's Pizza. It's the random trips to the movie theater. It's the salad bars at the fucking uh, Pizza Huts. You know, it's
yeah,
all of those things. It's going to putt putt. It's dinners around the table. It's family game night. That's the same shit. That's what you give them to be nostalgic about. That's our job. That is what we
yeah,
do. We take those wonderful things that we like. Those, you know, hey, what's that on your shirt? Ah, or you know, oh, you dropped it that under there, underwear. Oh, I made you say underwear. You know, that stupid shit. That's our job. We
yeah,
pass it on.
yeah. Do you think, so I like that. I want to explore that just a little bit here. Do you think that that maybe adds to, and I might be, I might be off base here, but I kind of feel our generation has like a little bit of like animosity where in order to do that, extra effort has to be made. And I say that with a grain of salt because as you and I are parents, it shouldn't be extra effort. That's just effort of being a parent. But
Well,
hold on, if I
oh,
may.
go ahead. Yeah, we're both easy on this one. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. Those those nostalgic memories were a byproduct in which of the restraints of our surroundings made for us. The green electric box, Blockbuster, cable television, all of those things is that we got our memories and we think back on nostalgia because that's all we got. Our parents didn't have to do that, didn't have to give that to us. Now, granted, dad taking you fishing, mom taking you to the mall, whatever those are, the cozy around the table dinners. But now we don't have the byproducts of how society runs to give our kids those nostalgic moments. It is on us. Like I completely agree with you. It really is on us to give that to them. Do you see the opportunity for that to give us a little bit of animosity? And that might be another reason
Well,
why we're nostalgic.
I think I see where you're coming from, and I offer you the other side of it. How
Okay.
much as a kid did you recognize when your parents put in extra effort? Not just doing the here's dinner, yada yada yada, but like really try. Not looking back as an adult, but in the moment you recognize as a kid. Good night, Slidey. Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you, Slidey, so much. Good night, lady. So
Because I didn't recognize any of that.
no, that was par for the course.
And that's it. I think there's always been extra effort given. We just didn't see it. And to expect them to see it now, it's unreasonable. It's like expecting me, it's like me expecting my youngest to stop leaving his socks in the bathroom every time he showers. Sure, in a few years. Now, I might as well, try and climb a rope upside down. It's not happening. Sorry. Like it's
Mhm.
just the way it is. But I will say, I think the things that matter to them are very similar to the things that matter to us. You know what my son wants me to do more than anything? I literally do the thing he thinks is the coolest for a living. But you know what he wants from me more than anything?
Mm,
A game of Fortnite. Sit down with him and watch something. For him
yeah.
to listen to him while he shows me the Pokemon cards that he traded for this week at Pokemon Club. To listen to him talk about whatever book he's reading. To tell him about some book I read at his age.
Right.
He wants my time. And in a world where it's so easy to dedicate so much time to yourself, it's so easy to get lost in all those little things that you love that is tailor made to you, your algorithm. That is literally a computer going, I have learned how best to distract you, meatbag.
Uh,
Instead of giving into that, you pull yourself away from it. You unplug. You pick up your cane. You go outside. And as the fucking kids say, touch grass.
mm,
You take a kid with you. You spend some time with them. Or you do the shit that you love with them.
yeah.
That's how we bridge that gap. That's how we give them shit to be nostalgic for. Do you know why I love sitting here and playing old school games with people on the internet and doing shit like this? Because my fucking dad did it with me. My dad went to Blockbuster and rented a copy of Legend of Zelda Oracle of Age, or not Oracle of Ages, Ocarina of Time, and fucking got stuck. So we went to a Walmart to get something or another. And what's there in the electronics aisle? The Prima Games strategy guide. Well, guess what my job was? Sit right next to him and go, no, Dad, you're using this. You're supposed to be using the mirror shield, not the regular shield. It says so right here. We're out at dinner, randomly grabbing something to eat at a fucking Denny's. And I've got the book there. He's got his comic books. I've got the strategy guide cracked open, reading up on what we're going to be doing the next time we play. Like it's an episode of JonTron or some shit like that.
Yep.
That was what we did, and you know what? That's why I do what I do today.
Here, sir. I like that. I like that a whole bunch. And it is my hope that us 90s nostalgic people continue to keep that in mind. I'm still going to call it extra effort because
Oh yeah,
it's again, I truly believe that we have to not rely on the byproduct of the way society and culture is to build those memories and those nostalgic things to call back on in 10, 15, 20 years for not only ourselves again, but for our kids. uh but then to take it to that next step and share things worthy of being nostalgic in the first place. It's not going to come from the screens. It's not going to come from here's this here's this new blockbuster TV series that you can binge in a day and then you're waiting forever for season 2. I mean, what's the freaking one show with the upside down? It's a freaking
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Like
Stranger Things.
Imagine if Stranger Things came out episode by episode. Dude, that would be a cultural phenomenon. And it still was. It still was. But that added bit of tune in next week for the exciting conclusion of, like, that shit. Oh, dude.
I
And
watched Avatar: The Last Airbender with my son, and he actually said, "I can't imagine having to wait a week to see what happened next."
yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Shit. I can think of one of those pivotal points in media, The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, you had to wait. You had to do your waiting a week. Eventually, it came to a point people just
Glenn's
waited for
death.
it to hit the internet and just binge the whole fucking thing.
There's whole shows that I said I didn't want to watch until I could watch it all at once
Yeah,
because it was so good.
yeah.
Wifey and I used to do that with seasons of Doctor Who.
Ugh. And I think the same way, dude. Like I the shows that we'll watch now, like I couldn't imagine waiting a week and all that kind of shit. But and again, like that goes back to me saying like I don't think inherently that these are bad things when it comes to the growth in how media is made and consumed. I think that the heart is in the right place because clearly there's a want for it. Like here we are bitching a fit about nostalgia, but still at the end of the day, I want to watch my shit whenever I want to watch my shit. The availability is there, and I still want to take advantage of it. I in no way am advocating for reverting back. I don't want to nuke the technology, but what I do want to do is really dig down, and we've done it. And I feel like more people would appreciate things more if they did that dig down on why we feel for nostalgia, where it comes from, and then what can we do about it. And you hit all those nails on the head, dude, is that we have to put in that effort for it. Is it the kids? Is it, really it is, it's about the kids. It's a generational thing. Like we want to make sure that we're giving them a reason to have that callback, that in 20 years they want to do a podcast about new millennium nostalgia, or the 20s. Imagine talking about the 20s, not the roaring 20s but the new 20s. Shut up. But what are they going to be nostalgic about? Like not much unless we give it to them. So kudos to you on that, sir. I like that one a whole bunch.
I like bookends, and that was perfect for what we started with the dad jokes and it's tradition.
Yep.
I mean, and you really want to go there. Tradition is just peer pressure from dead people.
I've never heard
I
that
mean,
before, and I love it.
I'm making a meme out of it, but like it's 100%. Like Living Meme says, Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny. What's up, Doc? That was something you were exposed to from the time Bugs Bunny came out to early 2000s. No matter what,
Yep.
everybody knew who Bugs Bunny was. To the same degree, Eddie Izzard's got a great bit about it where you can go anywhere in the world and Scooby and Shaggy, and they're like Scooby and Shaggy, Scooby Dooby Doo. Like they know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're either fucking James from Pokemon or you're Scooby. That's it.
Yep.
But like now, that's something that you'd have to expose your children to.
Yeah.
Like I wanted my son to enjoy Power Rangers, so I showed it to him. I wanted him to enjoy Avatar: The Last Airbender because not only is it a great show, but it has so many wonderful lessons.
Yeah.
I exposed him to it. And you know what? Now here we are a couple of years later at an Avatar convention, and I'm watching my son meet the voice actress for one of my favorite characters in that show. And he's just like, I have a picture of him with fucking the lady that voices Toph, Michaela something. I can't remember.
That's so cool, dude.
Wonderful woman. Yeah, I got to be like, thank you for being cool to him. It meant the world. And she said to me, you have a wonderful kid. I would like my kid to be like him. Like,
oh,
if you'd have told younger me, like teenage me, that watching Toph call people dunderheads because Nickelodeon wouldn't let her call them dumbasses, and you told me that moment was going to happen, I wouldn't have believed you. And
right.
It only happened because I wanted my son to like something that I like. That's honestly 100% it. Why does my kid like half the games that haven't come out today? Because I've made an effort to get him to like it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they all want to be like us.
Yeah.
All he wants to do is be like me. So the best thing I can do is give him a good picture and, try and balance out. You're never going to be the Norman Rockwell, well, honey, fucking leave it to Cleavers. But the least you can do is balance the scales.
Yeah.
Give some good to go with the bad.
Yeah.
Everybody fails.
No, I like that, dude. I like that a bunch.
I'll sit here and, hey, man, let me tell you what's wrong all night.
I tell you this, dude. It was not my pure intent to turn what could have been just a laundry list of 90s nostalgia into a pure and unadulterated psychologist session, but I think it is really important for our generation to understand why we feel this way. Because, dude, like there'll be my algorithm has caught me in it where that one song, I don't know what it is. My daughter would be able to find it, but it'll just show like Jenko jeans and Blockbuster and a Tamagotchi with like that like melancholy music in the background, and like, dude, why is this like hitting me in my soul, dude? Like it really is, dude. Living Meme, thank you so much for the follow, brother. I appreciate that.
Living Meme.
Really cool. Thank you. But yeah, like why does this hit me so hard, dude? Because like I don't wanna become a cynical person where like, dude, Gen X, we're like, oh, are you kids these days? And like even the boomers, like it's really more boomers than Gen X. I know plenty of cool Gen X people, but it's I don't want to be a doomer about the fact that we're never gonna have those societal nostalgic things happening where we have to create them as not only the I would call us the primary generation of the time, but as parents too, man. Like I don't want people to get so caught up in the past that they don't want to put in the effort to create something just as memorable for the future. You know?
No, you're 100% right. I completely agree. Because you got to remember, in a handful of short years, we're going to be the boomers.
Yeah.
That's the way it's going to be. And if we don't want to be like them, then we just have to carry the same lessons onward.
Yep.
Be better. Take what worked and add our own. Because that's all you ever do.
Yeah.
It's all as a parent, as a man, as a human being. I take what they did before me, I stack what works for me on top of it, and I pass it on. It's no different than when you were in fucking grade school and you were sitting at the front of the row and your teacher was like, take one and pass it back. That's
Yeah.
life, bro.
Yeah.
What you do on a daily basis is a distilled version of what 3 people ago did.
Yeah. Dude, that's one of my favorite ways of really putting into perspective how and again we're all Americans here at least. I know I have some international followers, but like just for putting America and American culture into perspective,
Like
the
what, 6
declaration
people
was
ago?
3 people ago, dude. That shit was 3 fucking people ago. It's
I think we're more
1776.
than 3.
So let's do it this way. 1776, that's 250-ish years ago, if my math is correct.
I'd say about 4 people, maybe 5.
So let's say 250 people. Let's say people live to 70. That's like 3.5 people ago. If people
Okay,
live to
you're
80,
right.
that's 3 people ago. You know what I'm saying? Like
I,
that,
s-
and that's what I'm
I
saying,
sit
dude. That
comfortably
shit
corrected.
that shit was only that long ago, dude. Like that's a Joe Rogan joke, and every time I
Yeah,
hear it, I continue to do the math in my head to make sure it's not an old joke. It seems
it does seem
longer.
longer. There's
Exactly.
actually, I think I said this the last time we had this conversation. There's an American president who who was like he had grandchildren. Like his grandfather had kids whenever he was 70, and his dad had kids when he was 70. So he's like, yeah, my grandpa fought in the war. What, the Great War? No, the Civil War.
Yeah.
Like shit.
Shit, dude. Uh-huh. One of my
But like, you're not
favorite
wrong.
yeah, one of my favorite memes about like putting time into perspective. Generations are typically though because most people have kids between 25-40. Yeah, so yeah, static. So when you get those outliers and shit like that, like you really get like you get like these interesting
Yeah.
perspectives on time, dude. Like one of my favorites is when faxes were invented, when Abraham Lincoln was around, and when
Oh yeah.
samurais were around. There was a couple years where Abraham Lincoln could have gotten a fax from a samurai.
Abraham Lincoln. That was a whole iFunny fucking saga of people making memes about Abraham Lincoln trying to fax his samurai buddy.
Yeah.
I'll do you one better. Oh, hold on. I gotta find this historically accurate D&D group.
But yeah, like I like that thought experiment of like roughly Like if you got, if you live a healthy life and you go to the doctor every once in a while, like if you live to about 80, like, dude. And again, like there's the generations, like you can say many people in generations, and that's a fair and fine argument. But from birth to death, like our country's 3 to 4 people old, man, and it's a crazy thing. What you got there? Let me see what you got there. What are we talking about? Victorian
All right.
England, American Old West, Maji
Here's some
Restoration.
timeline.
An adventuring party consisting of a Victorian gentleman thief, an Old West gunslinger, a disgraced former samurai, and an elderly French pirate is actually 100% historically plausible. Like, I love that shit, dude. I love that because
I just said it the other day. People like timelines that people don't really notice happen around the same time. Anne Frank, Martin Luther King Jr., born in the same year. People
wild.
typically don't notice that because they talk about very different points of each other's lives.
Yep.
Anne Frank, you think of her as a little ass girl. Martin Luther King, you think of I have a dream and being assassinated by the FBI. I mean, a lone gunman.
Yeah. Good save. Good
You,
save.
you have sorry, yeah. Sorry, Mr. NSA agent. That was all jokes.
All jokes,
In
all jokes.
Minecraft. But like they were born in the same fucking year.
Yep.
Shit's wild.
Yup, dude. Absolutely freaking and like that that again is something that I hope, well, really it's going to be on us, is to give that perspective to the future generations that, like, hey, where we come from, and it's important to help people understand us, is that we come from pre-internet, pre-AOL discs, kick the can days, to now, like, you can work from home, you can get your groceries delivered to the house, you can live your entire life in the same 4 walls and have,
Which makes it all the more important that you don't.
but it's the availability of it, and that's where you and I come in, is that we make sure that you don't. And what I think, again, it adds to the nostalgia, is that wasn't even an option for us. Not even about getting kicked out of the house until the lights come on, but like I wanted to go outside. Like I was a big fan of Super Soakers, to bring some actual nostalgia to the nostalgic conversation. I can see in my head my favorite Super Soaker. And Bunny said it earlier in your chat, drinking from the garden hose, dude. I would
Oh yeah, dude.
overfill my Super Soaker, grab a quick drink, and go right back out there playing alone, run around the house, clearing corners, and just getting it in, dude. But like that was that
Up
was
to
because
no
I
good, but
wanted to.
causing no harm.
Up to no good and causing no harm. And that's what I wanted to do. No one had to come and point me in that direction. But now, if you were to apply like that same like hands-off parenting, which is kind of what it was, is that like you're gonna have kids zombified chilling in their room. And I'm not perfect.
You know why?
But go ahead. Go ahead.
I keep jumping in. I feel like the reason we have that like helicopter parenting is because kids are being raised by people who knew what the fuck kids got up to when they were kicked out of the house and left to do shit under their own devices.
Yeah.
We knew what we did, and we don't want our kids doing a fucking tenth of it. And that's where you have people who are overly protective, and then you have these kids who can't fucking do anything for themselves. Or you have the opposite, where it's like, whatever, fuck it, I turned out all right, go ahead. And you have these kids who have no idea of like societal boundaries.
Yep.
Yeah, climbing trees and playing with sticks. You know what I got in trouble for as a kid for climbing trees? Because I did it in fucking sandals or barefoot. Like that was it. I got put on some shoes and don't fall out of that fucking tree. I don't want to have to take you to the hospital. You know what the most dangerous thing to say to my mom that wasn't disrespectful? I'm bored. Oh shit! I'll find something for you to do. I'd be scrubbing walls. I'd be doing any number of the chores that are on my mom's fucking backlog.
Yep.
Oh, you're bored, huh? No, you're bored. Yeah, she go give me 15 reasons never to tell her I'm bored again. Because that's the way it was. Because there's always something that needs done.
And so a thought I just had, dude, is, and we were talking about this before, is having the plethora of information and news always being thrown in your face. Is imagine kicking kids out of the house now. Imagine telling new age parents to have your kid outside without being under your purview for hours. But we
I do.
know, and here, there, and everywhere, kids get snatched up. And that's the thing. It's not like it didn't happen then and parents didn't care then, but it wasn't thrown in their face every single time one kid in the middle of wherever got snatched up. And now
It
granted,
ain't even just that. We do it for entertainment too. How many episodes of fucking Criminal Minds have you seen where somebody's kid gets snatched? How many
yeah,
episodes of CSI? We made a whole fucking TV show about it, the first 48.
yup,
Before
dude.
it was like you heard about John Wayne Gacy, or if you really want to go there, John Norman. Google it, check it out. He was the Epstein of the 70s. But like, but you had to look this shit up. Now it's prime time television. You've got somebody on a fucking TV going, "Oh, we gotta find this kid." Sorry, I know I keep interjecting.
No, dude, that's perfect. And that's like that's another one of those cultural nostalgic things. Maybe not a good nostalgia, but the product of society taught you things. Like that is something that
Stranger
was
Things.
so big, it made it to you. It made it to everyone in the country. But not every single one, dude. Like if it was a problem, your local community knew about it and they would do stuff about it. That's where you get block parties and cul-de-sac parties from. That's where you get like one or two dads that'll wash the truck outside in the front, just making sure that they're within earshot of their kids screaming their heads off running around, and that's fine and that's fair.
Because that's how it was back then. Me,
Yeah, man.
and I'm the same way. Max is here playing with little Jimmy, Johnny, and fucking Stevie from down the street. Hey, Jimmy, Johnny, Stevie, go run into your parents and let them know that I'm ordering pizza, and if it's okay with you, if it's okay with them, you can eat with us tonight. Okay, thanks, Mr. Ron. And they fuck off and go ask their parents because that's the way it was. It's the way it was. I was at my buddy Johnny's house, and his mom was making dinner. Hey, Ron, call your mom. Ask her if it's okay if you have dinner here. No, and she's gonna say if it's a bother, it's no bother. And if I'm on the phone for too long, she takes that shit. Oh, Karen, don't worry about it. My mom's name's not Karen, but
Yeah.
oh, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Honey, it's okay. You can return the favor, and you know damn well next week Johnny's gonna be at your house having hamburger helper because that's how it is. One kid in the neighborhood got chicken pox. Guess what, motherfuckers? We're having a sleepover. Everybody's doing it.
Yep.
Whoever's got the biggest den, we're showing a movie, and everybody's getting chicken pox.
Yep. Oh, that would drive new age parents crazy now, dude. Crazy to do that kind of shit. And
Oh, yeah.
and it's
I mean,
I don't know. Oh, parents.
yeah, we're going down a weird hole here,
Yeah.
a weird rabbit hole. I do want to point out that we are approaching the 2 hour mark.
Yeah, I noticed that about a couple minutes ago, and I had a thought, and then I spoke my thought, but I don't know.
So let's lightning round. Top 3 favorite things from the 90s.
Mm.
I'll start. Digimon, Aladdin, the Disney movie, and the Real Man of Genius commercials.
Oh, those commercials were so good, dude. Oh, the
Honorable
backup
mention?
singers.
Sobe in a glass bottle. Late stage capitalism took my lizard milk from me.
Oh, I love that.
I know it sounds weird, but that's what they called it. Lizard milk. It was Sobeys,
Yeah. Okay,
Are you
all right.
afraid of the dark?
So
Meant for the
I wish
true
I did this type
just-
of research because I don't know if I would consider it 90s or if it's going to be older, and I apologize if I get my decade wrong, but I have to start with Super Soakers. My favorite
Oh.
way to play was with Super Soakers, dude. Hands down, all day, all night. Oh, my second thing, and it's all going to be outside activities, and I'm probably one of the last dudes that goes outside for the sake of extracurricular activities now. But bike riding, and no, you know what? That's the honorable mention because I had a mountain bike and I only rode it around town. Skateboarding. I loved skateboarding, dude. Now, granted, I was barely 10, but nonetheless, I loved it. The board was freaking almost bigger than me because I was a little kid, but it was just so much fun. I tried inline rollerblades. I just couldn't figure it out. I could do it on a carpet in the house. I just could not do it in the street. I tipped over every single time. And the last thing, Pokemon, dude. Pokemon was just chef's kiss. The introduction to anime that no one knows was their actual introduction to anime.
Toonami.
Toonami, yes, dude. Toonami put in so much work for American children to be that perfect gateway into anime that nobody saw coming. They had no idea. Boys not caring that they liked Sailor Moon, get out of town, dude. Unheard
Tuxedo
of.
Mask is my homie. Motherfucker shows up, does nothing, looks dapper as fuck. My job here is done. But you didn't do anything. Here's a rose, bitch. I'm out.
Here's a rose, bitch. I'm out. Dude.
Fucking love it.
Yes, dude. Yes, man.
Tales from the Crypt.
That's a good. I can hear the cackle in my ear right now. Thank you, sir.
Another reason I like the good puns. Motherfucker loved his puns. The Crypt Keeper was my dude. I completely agree that you're talking about riding bikes. Take one of those scenes from Stranger Things in the very first season where they're all riding bikes side by side down the road, not giving a fuck about cars. That is peak childhood.
Yes,
like straight out of a fucking Stephen King novel or a fucking Spielberg movie. Yep. Yes, that was it. Mighty Max. How about the Alex Mack? Remember that shit?
Holy
Alex Mack,
shit,
bitch turned into the Capri Sun monster and slid around everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you know what I mean by the Capri Sun monster, your joints probably hurt.
They do. Holy shit. I can see it. I see her popping up on the other side of a car in the garage? Oh my God. This was a
fucking Pete and Pete.
I just saw a picture of them, dude. They're still friends.
Shorts. Yep, I don't wanna. We hold you in our heart. When I think about you, it makes me wanna fuck. It's I hope we never part. Shut up or say it right. Yeah, exactly.
Say it right or pay the price.
That's it. Say it right or pay the price. Good stuff. That's what I'm talking about, though. You know, we want our kids to be nostalgic. We want the next generation to be nostalgic. Give them something to be nostalgic for. Yep. It starts with old episodes of Magic School Bus. It starts with old episodes of fucking Captain Planet.
Yeah.
I wanted my kid to like Power Rangers, so I introduced him to Power Rangers. Cut to a few years later, I'm going to go tuck him in. He's watching shows in my room, and he's watching an episode of Power Rangers that has every Red Ranger from every show on it. And I'm over here like, that's the dude for Power Rangers in Space. That's the dude for Power Rangers Zeo. That's the Red Ranger for Power Rangers Turbo. And with everyone that I name, he's standing on the bed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Louder and louder. That's what it's all about.
When I took my daughter out, this is going to be my last thought, but to this exact point, my daughter is a huge fan of stuffed animals. Those are her toys of choice. She doesn't play with dolls or really anything like that. She's all about stuffed animals. The first time she wanted to get a Pokemon, my heart exploded, dude.
You did it, didn't you? You got the 3 and you let her pick.
I did, dude. I did.
Who'd she pick?
Bulbasaur, because of her father.
Oh,
favorite color green, dude. Don't mess with me. Don't at me. I don't want to hear nobody's noise every time I picked Bulbasaur. Every time. Don't care.
Okay. Realistically, Bulbasaur's the A+ choice. He's strong against Brock, strong against fucking Misty, and he's a neutral type against fuckboy Lieutenant Surge. You're not really going to have a problem until much later. Late game for him kind of becomes dicey, but you can always, move on. That you're not wrong. Now, real men pick Charmander because it's a struggle. You start out, you struggle for everything, but in the end game, you're a god. Erica's like, behold my Vileplume. You're like, flamethrower.
Right.
You know, fucking Koga's like, behold my Venomoth. You're like, flamethrower. Now, the only downside is you are stuck with a dragon with wings that neither has a dragon type or can learn fly.
Oh, it's so annoying. Why can't you fly? I'm looking at your wings right now, dude.
But that being said, Charmander's the real move. And if you pick Squirtle, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. Blastoise looks cool. Skull Bash is a stupid fucking move. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. It's okay. You know, he's got guns coming out of his shell. I understand. We all make poor choices in the heat of the moment, Jimbo.
That's right. That's right. Well, shit, dude. I think that's perfect as a way as arguing about freaking starter Pokemon. I appreciate
It's
your
the way.
judgmentalness.
What God intended.
Yes, that's right. Imagine having the pinnacle of arguments with your friends is about starter Pokemon and not about what's going on the other side of the world, but starter Pokemon.
That's a great point to leave off on.
I think so too. Dude, I had an absolute blast going down memory lane with you, and for what it's worth to you and everybody else, I apologize for trying to shrink it once again.
Oh, you're perfectly fine. I honestly, like, I enjoyed the we had a goal to talk about some stuff, and we did. And then we talked about the more human element, because too many things are just,
So I'm going to tell you a story about Black Ops Zombies.
and nobody talks about, dude, you know why I like Black Ops Zombies? You know why I'm telling you about Black Ops Zombies? Because me and my buddies stayed up till 3 a.m. every night for this summer, and we beat the shit out of Black Ops Zombies like it owed us money. I know so much about it that I enjoy talking about it because of it, and I'm going to talk to you about it.
Yep. Oh, that is fantastic, dude. That is great.
I mean, I just made that up, but like that's it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and it's okay. It's okay. We're at the end of the day, we're in the entertainment business, so it doesn't even matter if you're making it up, so long as it's entertaining. Dude, I think with that, we're hitting a mark, and I'm good. I feel like we got into touch on just enough that I continue to be motivated to be nostalgic, but in a positive way, and I hope you do too.
Oh yes, I completely agree. I've been channeling my nostalgia into my channel. I mean, just this week I've dove fucking feet, elbows, doesn't matter, everything first into Batman Arkham Asylum because, oh my gosh, do I love that series. I am literally nearing the end of it. You know, the last time I played, I'll probably beat that on Monday and move on to the second game of the series. That's it. The nostalgia. It's right there. It's me getting to be able to go,
Oh my gosh, you guys, I fucking love this game so much. Sit here with me for the next 8 hours and I will talk about it and tell you everything that makes it cool. And hopefully by the end of it, you love it just as much as I do.
I hope you get at least one person talking to you specifically that way about it.
Me too. If at least one person goes, I want to play this, and does, I've won.
You have won. That's exactly what I was going to say, dude, is that you've won. You can have the biggest audience out there, but if you can get at least one person to be like, shit, I want to do that, then you've hit a nail on the head. I use that phrase a lot, but by golly gosh, you've done good. And it is my hope that at least one of the people that I get to influence is my own child. So,
oh yes.
So I think, dude, with that, I'm good here. You good here?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely good here.
Did you have enough fun that you would probably want to do this again?
Oh, definitely. I think we should make this a regular thing. I mean,
I too
I
think.
could see it. I got a couple episodes.
Yeah. No, I think we should make this a regular thing. We should probably put this on YouTube at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Come up with some kind of catchy title.
Mm.
Maybe get Bunny to make some cool infographics.
I bet you she would. Dude. I have to say to you, hold on, let me make sure that I point right. I see, so I got this nice tower right here. I notice you got one right there too, and we're, between them.
You're not wrong. We should do something with that.
We
You know,
should do
like
something
that
with that.
one, like the dude from The Hangover, Zach Galifianakis, I think his name.
Oh yeah,
Is that
he.
Between Two Ferns thing, right? Where he was like
Yeah,
calling people fat and shit.
yeah. What a freaking wild concept! I can't believe that still
Have you
goes.
ever seen the outtakes to that? All jokes
Oh
aside, it's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, they're so good, and I'm so glad that there are outtakes because it's like, dude, if you're straight faced throughout that whole thing, you're a monster of a person.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Living Meme. We try real hard to come up with stuff that isn't just entertaining, but makes you think.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I think that, like, yeah, I'm definitely down to do more of these. Obviously, I mean, I know we make jokes and shit, but like, we're gonna, as long as there's people here willing to listen, and the numbers keep showing us that at least one of you psychopaths wants to hear what we have to say for an hour to two at a time. I'm down to keep pumping these bad boys out.
same
I
here.
mean, I can't say much. I'm a professional attention whore. As long as somebody cares about me, I'm gonna be.
And I just like getting my feet wet in the noise. I figured, shit, if you guys are willing to have me and have me with him, all the better, man. All the better. So I appreciate, guys, in both chats, I appreciate all of you giving us something to think about. You know, putting in your 2 cents, your 5 cents. Hell, we'll take a whole dollar at this point. Um, but yeah, I think I'm good here. I think you're good here. Probably call it here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
You
then,
guys have a great night.
yeah. To my chat, to your chat, have a great night, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.